Vinland Saga is one of the most well-received anime in the last 5 years, and I can understand why. Vikings, war, mixed with a revenge story, seems like a good combination for a good anime, but when I actually got the chance to sit down and watch season 1 of Vinland Saga, bruh, I'm sorry, but that was some of the most boring shit I have ever seen in a long ass time. And I know me calling something boring is a subjective criticism, but I do believe there is an explanation as to why something can be boring and unengaging. A lot of times when I praise an anime, one of the things I praise the most is creativity and uniqueness, the ability to take a simple concept and do something unique with it. Creativity a lot of times keeps an anime or any type of medium engaging, even if it's bad. That's not to say that everything has to be 100% original, but the closer it is to being original, then I think the better. Even if it's something minuscule like a samurai using their breathing to perform spectacular feats, or a pirate eating a fruit that grants them magical powers. Those little additions to a simple story that's probably been told over 100 times can shockingly take a story a long way. And of course, aesthetics play a major role in this as well. It's only natural that we want to see cool looking shit when reading or watching something. It's one of the reasons why series like Bleach and Berserk has such a huge fan base, and it's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't want to read or watch One Piece. Now, what makes Vinland Saga boring to me is that it takes the concept of Vikings, war, and revenge and does absolutely nothing with it. It's basic Viking shit where the Vikings in the show do nothing but fight, party, and bullshit. It's basic war shit where the people in the show fight and kill each other over petty dumb shit with little to no strategy, with one person doing most of the killing. And it's basic revenge quest shit where one character wants revenge on another character because this character killed someone that this other character loved. And I think this is the worst aspect of this show, because the revenge quest for Thorfinn's character is so painfully generic that it literally turns him into a one-dimensional character. Thorfinn's character for 99% of Vinland Saga is spent with him trying to get revenge on Askeladd because Askeladd killed his father. An understandable reason for wanting to get revenge on a person, I get it, but it's how he goes about getting revenge on Askeladd that fucking infuriates me. After Askeladd killed Thorfinn's dad, Thorfinn decided to join Askeladd's crew to get a chance to kill Askeladd. And the entire time that Thorfinn was on Askeladd's crew, this motherfucker didn't do nothing but bitch, challenge Askeladd to a duel, and bargain with Askeladd to get another chance to fight him. Every time this motherfucker spoke, it was always about him wanting to get revenge against Askeladd. Keep in mind that this motherfucker had a chance to kill Askeladd when he was asleep, but he didn't want to do it because he wanted to kill Askeladd in the honorable way. An ideal that was heavily influenced by his father because Thorfinn respected his father so much. But as the show goes on, Thorfinn's way of thinking starts to not make any fucking sense, because despite Thorfinn wanting to handle things like his father, there are 2 occasions where his father shows up in the dream and tells Thorfinn to pretty much stop chasing after revenge because that's something he wouldn't have wanted, and that a true warrior doesn't need a sword to be considered a warrior. He also told Thorfinn to go check up on his sister and mom. With Thorfinn respecting his father and wanting to handle things just like him, does Thorfinn take the advice of his dead father to at least think about the path that he has chosen and whether or not if it's right or wrong? Does he stop chasing revenge for his father's sake, or even think about how his mom or sister, or hell, even the people at the village are feeling? Hell no, he just continues this stupid ass revenge quest shit while whining about Askeladd despite willingly joining his crew and following him everywhere and having multiple chances to kill him. And I don't want to hear about how he's trying to do things his father's way and that's why he didn't kill Askeladd sooner, when there's been multiple occasions where his father showed up and told him to stop and the motherfucker just ignored him. At that point, you're just doing things your way and not the way your father would have wanted it to be handled. Also, this nigga Thorfinn bitches about how the people around him are monsters because they mindlessly kill people without thinking twice about it, while he's literally doing the exact same thing just to get another chance to fight Askeladd. Like, this character is fucking stupid, bruh. Even as the show goes on, it gets to a point where even Askeladd and Thorkell indirectly called Thorfinn a one-dimensional character. And I know people are going to say that this is the prologue and Thorfinn's character is supposed to be one-dimensional, but I don't think that's an excuse to give him no development in season 1, especially considering that there were multiple opportunities for him to develop as a character. Like I said earlier, the 2 times his father showed up in his dreams, those were opportunities where he could have at least questioned if what he was doing was right or wrong, or whether or not if it was something his father would have wanted him to do. They could have used that to set up his development in season 2, but no, he ended season 1 looking like a defeated potato. Overall, Thorfinn's character was super disappointing considering the amount of praise he gets in the anime community. After watching season 1, I'm starting to think that the only reason why Thorfinn receives so much praise in the anime community is because they feel bad for him and he fights like a badass, not because of his character development or his character progression or hell, even his character logic. Like seriously, if you was to compare Thorfinn to other revenge characters like Sasuke and Kurapika, it would be embarrassing on how bad they would clear him as a character. And I'm talking about Sasuke and Kurapika in their first seasons of their series. Unlike Thorfinn, Sasuke and Kurapika actually develop as characters. Yes, their characters want revenge in their series, but their revenge doesn't define them as a character. Every word and action that they take in their series is not about getting revenge. Yes, it was like that for Sasuke in the beginning, but as the series went on in season 1, Sasuke became more of a team player and he even risked his life to save people that he didn't really even care for at the time. Same with Kurapika. He started the series wanting revenge against the Phantom Troop, but as the show went on, he started to care about other things besides revenge. After the Hunter exam, he wanted to go help Killua. He didn't instantly go start looking for the Phantom Troop, and that's not because he didn't care about the Phantom Troop around that time, but because throughout the Hunter exam, he found more things to value than just revenge. And keep in mind, this is basic ass development for Sasuke and Kurapika, something Thorfinn doesn't even have. And even though I've been shitting on Thorfinn's character for the entirety of this video, he does have a good moment in episode 6 where he tries to help the villagers escape because Vikings were coming over to take over their land. It's also one of the many episodes that show Thorfinn thinking about his family, which kind of doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of things, because if he really valued his family this much, then would he have at least thought about going to check up on his mom and sister when his father showed up and told him to do so? That's besides the fucking point. After this great moment for Thorfinn's character, the series does a horrible job in just treating this episode as another day at the office for the Vikings, and they just kind of brush it off and redirect Thorfinn's character into being this one-dimensional I want revenge character. Also, speaking of Thorfinn, this motherfucker randomly gets strong out of nowhere, and it even gets to a point to where he can even overpower grown-ass men despite him being a little-ass kid. Like, this motherfucker even gave Thorkell a hard ass time. Like, this nigga Thorfinn came from being a little whiny ass bitch to fighting like a fucking Naruto character, bouncing all over the fucking place in the span of one fucking episode. And the amount of plot armor that Thorfinn gets in Vinland Saga, especially in the beginning stages, is fucking insane. Like, I find it hard to believe that a little ass kid who was scared shitless to fight on a battlefield has no fucking problems killing grown ass men with fucking ease like that. No little kid can just flip the switch like that. And I find it really funny that every adult that Thorfinn has came across on the battlefield, them niggas for some odd reason don't know how to fight. Like, they'll be whooping ass, killing niggas with ease and all etceteras, and then they come across Thorfinn's little ass and all of a sudden, oh, what the fuck? What is this? A sword? Oh my god, how do I use this against this little ass kid right here? Like, all of a sudden they just magically don't know how to fight no more and shit. Like, the shit be looking goofy as hell, bruh. Now, throughout my experiences of watching Vinland Saga, there has been one redeeming factor that made this boring ass show watchable, and that is Askeladd. Askeladd carried Vinland Saga so much that they should just call Vinland Saga Askeladd Saga. Like, no bullshit. That's how much Askeladd's character carries this shitty ass show. Askeladd has the Griffith effect, where nothing in the story progresses or a character doesn't really develop unless Askeladd is in their vicinity. Every crucial moment in Vinland Saga is a result of Askeladd's character. Thorfinn's character Askeladd. Prince Canute's character, Askeladd. The villagers being assassinated, Askeladd. The war on Thorkell, Askeladd. Askeladd's group turning against him, Askeladd. The shocking plot twist at the ending of Vinland Saga Season 1 that hyped everyone the fuck up, Askeladd. Like, Askeladd's character is so multifaceted that it adds different dimensions to the story of Vinland Saga. Like, Askeladd might deadass be a top 10 anime character of all time. He has influence everywhere in the fucking show. He impacts the characters, he impacts the setting, everything is happening because of Askeladd. This is why this shit should be called Askeladd Saga. Now granted, it really doesn't take until what, episode 14 or 15 for Askeladd's character to really get the shit going, but nonetheless, when the shit gets to going, this shit is fucking dope. It's just unfortunate that everything in this show besides Askeladd fucking sucks. And hell, I haven't even seen Vinland Saga Season 2 or read the manga, but I fucking guarantee you that Askeladd's presence is still in that bitch. Vinland Saga needs Askeladd the same way that desert needs fucking rain. Like, this show is complete ass cheeks without Askeladd's character. Now, there are other characters in Vinland Saga that are considered main characters that I need to touch on, specifically Prince Canute, Thorkell, and Thors. Now, when it comes to Thors, he's as basic as they come. He's your basic ass superhero that everyone respects because of his past as a war hero and his personality. Like, I really don't know what the fuck to say about his personality. Like, despite Thors having so much influence in the story of Vinland Saga, his character fucking sucks. Like, they have this thing with his character where they try to make it seem as if he's this high morale type of person, like he's Jesus Christ or some shit. Like, he's one of those characters that the author would try to write to make him seem like the most stand-up guy ever, even though the shit that he does to look like a stand-up guy makes no fucking sense. Like, the author might as well put up a fat ass speech bubble next to Thors' character that says, "Hey guys, you see the stuff that Thors is doing? Is he not the most stand-up guy ever? Hey look, he saved a slave. He even sold some valuable resources just to keep him, even though the slave ended up dying later on anyway. But hey look, it's all about trying to make Thors look like the most stand-up guy ever, right?" Like, this stupid motherfucker Thors was trying so hard to convince the audience that he was such a good guy that he got himself killed against an assassin because he was trying to fight by the code. And what I mean by the code is he was expecting a person who was trying to assassinate him to surrender whenever he was put in a fucked up situation, not even realizing that this is a real world and no one has to play by a fucking code. And so yeah, Thors got fucking killed for it. And what made this moment so fucking funny to me is that Thors got mad as hell at Askeladd because he didn't play by the code. He was talking about some, "Oh, Askeladd, I beat you fair and square. You supposed to surrender. You ain't playing by the code. You broke the code, Askeladd." And I'm thinking to myself like, nigga, he's trying to assassinate you. Where the fuck does it say anywhere that you have to play by the fucking code? Speaking of Thors' death, his death had to be some of the most underwhelming shit I have ever seen in any anime. Like, this motherfucker was built up to be this Keanu Reeves, Jesus Christ. He's like this big badass who was fucking everybody up. He was going underwater and shit, doing all types of crazy shit. And then this motherfucker died to some arrows. Fucking arrows. Like, arrows to this nigga is like toothpicks. It's like, do you see the crazy shit that Thors did in this fucking show? You telling me the one thing that's gonna take this nigga out is fucking arrows? Dog, they didn't even kill his ass on screen. They killed his ass off screen. It was like, yo, this death is fucking trash. Like, this show is supposed to be about Thorfinn getting revenge, right? I'm thinking like, okay, his death has to be fucked up. Like, you know, I'm thinking they're gonna cut the nigga Thors' head off or something. Hell no, they killed this nigga with toothpicks. And like, this shit is so fucking ass and underwhelming, dog. And as far as Thorkell, he ain't shit but a dumbass Goku clone who just likes to fight all the time. It's like, oh, okay, so you the dumbass that everyone is supposed to get hyped about because you be fucking shit up. And I'm not gonna lie, he do be fucking shit up. But besides him fucking shit up, what is his fucking character? Like, his character is so one-dimensional that it it fucking hurts. Prince Canute, I actually fuck with him, alright? Even though his development came out of nowhere, but I let this shit slide because the rest of these characters in this show suck so fucking hard that I kinda had no choice but to let it slide. At least Prince Canute did develop. Prince Canute and Askeladd are easily the best characters in this whole fucking show by a fucking landslide. Also, there's this dumbass quote from this drunk ass priest that says, "Love is discrimination." Bruh, these is one of those special cases where an anime tries so hard to make itself seem deep that it starts saying shit that makes no fucking sense. Like, I see where he was trying to go with that, but he said it in such a fucked up way that it really just destroyed the whole moment of the series. Pretty much what he was trying to say was that things like water, grass, snow, shit, nature in general, those things are considered love because they have no hate, no intent to kill, and they have no emotions, so that means they can provide consistent value to humans as well as other living creatures. But what's so flawed about that argument is that everything in this world can be considered love and hate. Even when it comes to nature, yeah, we reap the benefits of nature, but there's also negatives that come with it. That's called natural disasters like tornadoes, earthquakes, hurricanes, floods. Like, these things can be considered hate to other people, especially religious people that believe that their gods punish humans because of our wrongdoings. There is nothing in this world that can provide 100% love without some form of hate. Love and hate are in the same boat. They're the opposites of each other. You can't have love without some form of hate. It's impossible. And because the word love in of itself is so subjective, a person can create a meaning of what love means to them. This show also tackles religious themes, and most of it is Christianity, but the deepest they go with it is the belief that God isn't real. I mean, it's really nothing that you really never heard of if you're a Christian, or if you're just some regular person that follows the basic religious shit that the media pushes out on a daily basis. You know, shit like atheism, Jesus Christ and Satan, heaven and hell, Adam and Eve, you know, shit like that. Like, there's really nothing deep about this show. It's just some basic ass Viking war revenge story, and maybe to some people who never really watched that much of Viking war revenge shit, or maybe they don't know that much about religion, maybe if they watch this might seem like the greatest shit ever. But bro, when you see enough of this shit, it's like, okay, can you like do something unique with it? It's like, come the fuck on now. But other than that, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about Vinland Saga. Like, so far, if I had to give it a grade, I'll give it what, a C-, and that's only because of Askeladd. If it wasn't for Askeladd, this show would get a fucking F. And I know people are gonna say, yo, watch season 2, Thorfinn's character actually gets better. Look, I'm sorry, but I have zero interest in watching Thorfinn's character in season 2, and I have zero interest in continuing the series, all right? I'm not gonna watch season 2 just to watch Thorfinn develop into his bland ass father, because his father wasn't the most interesting character either. So why the fuck would I want to see Thorfinn develop into him? But when it's all said and done, the only reason why people praise Vinland Saga as one of the greatest series of all time is because people surrounded themselves with shitty Shonen Jump series their entire life, so when they actually see something that's pretty fucking edgy, it blows their fucking mind. When they actually read a story that tackles deep themes like religion and shit, it blows their fucking mind because they're so used to the power of friendship bullshit. This is the anime community, where they praise anime to the highest levels because they subvert their expectations and not because the series is actually good. And yes, I know Vinland Saga is based on real life characters, so please do not say that stupid shit in the comment section, alright? Just because an anime replicates real life doesn't make it good, alright? I know most of you motherfuckers didn't pay attention to this shit in history class, so don't try to justify the shit being good now because it got animated in pretty colors.